Gradey, I mean, you've had a couple of good games now offensively, and then what does it mean to see a couple of threes go down tonight?
It always feels good to make shots. I mean, who doesn't like to? But I think it's just continue to build my rhythm. I talked a little bit about it before, of just new teams and new roles, and going in with the mindset of just trying to perfect them as best as you can. What coach is asking you, really, and I feel like when I do that, it's starting with the defensive end, and then that kind of pushes me into my offense, really.
Yeah, I mean, that play you made when you dove for the loose ball and got the alley-oop to BI. I mean, I think that was the same play. Anyway, but dove for the loose ball, created turnover. I mean, how important are those kind of plays for you to get that ball running and earn that confidence, I guess?
It's great. Those are some of the most fun plays because that's when the crowd gets really into it and the momentum is just there and it builds more and more, and it's kind of like a ticking time bomb. You can feel it, when the ball's, on the floor, and you can kind of feel the energy start to rise. And then once we get the possession and, finish it off and the crowd goes crazy, it gives you goosebumps. And that's honestly like why I play basketball. So when we can have plays like that and continue to build that momentum, it makes basketball fun.
As you've been doing like all the other little things, has that made it easier to sort of get through the struggle of shooting the ball, kind of because that's been the thing you've been able to do all your life, thinking that, hey, like this part will come?
Yeah, I think it gives me a different perspective of not trying to be one-dimensional and not trying to come in as a player and thinking I can only do one thing. And I feel like kind of through the early struggles, and I can kind of show that the resilience. And every year, some guys are going to go through slumps and stuff like that, but as soon as I can go out there and not worry about my shooting and just not get so caught up in that, and when I really focus on other aspects of the game, I think that's what has taught me to get through that, and just I'm not putting stress on any shots. And as a shooter, you have to have a short-term memory, and I feel like I've kept that even with maybe missing some here and there, and I'm gonna shoot the next one. I don't really think about a miss really ever. So I feel like when I do that, focus on the defensive end, it makes it that much easier.
Is there an aspect of your defense that you look at last season to this season that you're most proud of improving?
I think just being more present. I feel like, it's kind of easy sometimes, I feel like, to get lackadaisical in the corner when maybe not an action's coming at you, and then all of a sudden, NBA is split second, and you're in an action, and then you're 1 second behind, and that split second of a hesitation, and you're not connected to your defender, that opens up a lot of different ways for them to score. And I feel like when I've just been locked in, I'm talking straight away. Sometimes just yelling out stuff that doesn't even really involve the play, but it just keeps me focused on the defensive side of it. And I feel like when I'm one step ahead, I'm pushing into my rhythm, into my offensive side, more defense, whatever it may be. I'm just more present in everything.
Gradey, on your first three, Jamal was on a fast break. Jamal was all the way at the rim, and then he kind of threw it 3/4 across the court to get it to you. And and then I think once it went in, like Jamal kind of fist pumped like he was. What does it say about him as a point guard that he's looking to create those kind of opportunities for guys, and wants people to succeed? I guess
that's exactly that. He's amazing. He wants everyone to succeed, and he has our backs. He has my back, and I have his. And I feel like when you have a point guard like that, it's super motivational, and see the work that he puts in every single day. And I feel like what goes, people don't talk about enough, is just his selflessness. And like you said, he wants everyone to win. And I had just missed a shot right there, and I feel like he was one of the first guys that came up to me and said, "Stay right there. The way they're playing their defense, you're going to be open for another one." And it was like one of the next plays, so having to be a quick turnaround. But his aggressiveness to the rim, his speed, his burst of speed, he's going to either score that, or drop it off and do what he did there. And yeah, he's amazing.
In regards to the shooting, I guess you walk into practice, you see the Noah board. There's trainers who say stuff. There's tons of people who say stuff. When you're going through a slump, I'm sure it's probably attractive to want to try and adjust and tweak. How do you walk that line of, from your perspective, knowing what advice you think is good and proper for your shot, and what might be like you're trying to do too much and you stray away from something?
For me personally, it's just shooting the exact same shot more and more. And I feel like as a shooter, if slumps happen or you're missing some shots here and there in games, you just got to put more work in and, see it going through the hole. At the end of the day, if you're worrying about what other people are saying, then that's just only going to be worse. They're not in your position. They're not in the NBA. But I feel like even though it's my third year, I've been playing basketball long enough as a shooter to know what works for me. And to get through it, you just have to put more shots up. And I think that's preparation at the end of the day. And being prepared is really just having the confidence kind of away from the games, what people really don't see. And that's that Noah thing you're talking about, where it's tracking our shots, but at the end of the day, it's just getting shots up.
Obviously, you're about to go out west. I mean, what have you learned from previous long trips and how the team can build on it from being away on a long trip?
Yeah, they're fun. It's fun to travel. I think this is a 9-day road trip. But yeah, it is long. But at the end of the day, it's in the middle of this month, so we just know how important these games are to keep us pushing, to the end of the season. And I feel like we can't look too far ahead. But it's really just one game at a time, and focus on the Lakers, and then whatever happens after that happens.